Old Testament reading, 2 Samuel, chapter 11, verses 1 through 15. In the spring of the year, the time when kings go out to battle, David sent Joab with his officers and all Israel with him. They ravaged the Ammonites and besieged Rabbah. But David remained in Jerusalem. It happened late one afternoon when David rose from his couch and was walking around the roof of the king's house that he saw from the roof a woman bathing. The woman was very beautiful. David sent someone to inquire about the woman. It was reported, "This is Bathsheba, daughter of Eliam, the wife of Uriah the Hittite." So David sent messages to get her. And she came to him, and he lay with her. She was purifying herself after her period. When she returned to her house, the woman conceived. And she sent and told David, "I am pregnant." So David sent word to Joab, "Send me Uriah the Hittite." And Joab sent Uriah to David. And when Uriah came to him, David asked how Joab and the people fared, and how the war was going. And when David said to Uriah, "Go down to your house and wash your feet," Uriah went out of the king's house, and there followed him a present from the king. But Uriah slept at the entrance of the king's house with all the servants of his lord, and did not go down to the house. And when they told David Uriah did not go down to his house, David said to Uriah, "You just come from a journey. Why'd you not go down to your house?" Uriah said to David, "The ark and Israel, Judah remain in booths. And my lord Joab and his servants of my lord are camping in an open field. Shall I then go to my house to eat and to drink and to lie with my wife? As you live and your soul lives, I will not do such a thing." Then David said to Uriah, "Remain here today also. Tomorrow I'll send you back." So Uriah remained in Jerusalem that day. And on the next day, David invited him to eat and drink in his presence and make him drunk. And in the evening he went out to lie on his couch with the servants of his lord. But he did not go down to his house. In the morning David wrote a letter to Joab and sent it by the hand of Uriah. And the letter he wrote set Uriah in the forefront of the hardest fighting, and then draw back from him, so that he may be struck down and die. Word of God, people of God.
Thanks be to God.
The other day I was watching AMC classic movies, and they had a little short clip of our gang, Little Rascals. And Alfalfa was on. He's singing "Darling." "Object of my affection can change my complexion from white to rosy red." And I sat and I laughed as I did when I was a kid. The object of my affection. Years ago when I bought our Juke, we went and looked at all the cars on the lot. And I saw that car sitting there with them headlights sitting on the top, and it kind of looked like the front end of a dinosaur. And I said, "Boy, that car looks aggressive." Aggressive? Can a car be aggressive? I mean, some people go out and they buy their car, their grill got a shape to it, and go, "Look, it looks like it's smiling." You know. How about the people that put the eyelashes on their headlamps and, make their car look like somebody's, like That's what we got anymore. We start treating objects like they're someone. You know those machines you get in the corner, whether they're Google or Alexis? Hey Alexis, play me this song. And it played. One man was doing this in his house. He was going around. Hey Alexis, play me some oldies, you know, some stuff from the 70s would come on. And next thing you knew, his little toddler was walking over to coasters going, hey, he's talking to the coasters. And if Dad can talk to the thing in the corner, and it does something, why can't I talk to a coaster? We got to the point we say we love our stuff. I watch American Pickers. And I love when Mike and Frank go to some old barn somewhere and they're digging and they're pulling and they pull out this old sign that's been blasted by a shotgun that's been buried under 6 inches of dirt back in the corner of a barn somewhere, and they pull that out and it says, you know, some Wilson's Motor Oil or something like that on it. And they said, what do you want for this? And the guy said, boy, I love that sign. I don't think, you love the sign? It's been under dirt for 30 years. Just can't let it go. Can't let it go. And I guess there is a part of all of us, it's okay to like our stuff. But David began to treat people like objects. In this case, he doesn't even get up to go to battle with the rest of the army. Like David has led the armies every time they went out to battle. He's been a hero. He's come back in chariots with crowns on his head. But this year, I just don't feel like it. I'll send the rest of them. And late in the afternoon, as he's looking out over his rooftop, he sees on the roof of another building a beautiful woman taking a bath. And he inquires about her. The word comes back, this is Bathsheba. She is the daughter of Eliam, who is one of David's mighty men in Scripture. He's one of David's strongest supporters and backers. He knows Eliam. And she's the wife of Uriah the Hittite. But David didn't see her as Eliam's daughter. He wasn't looking at her as the wife of another man. He was looking at her as something to bring him pleasure. That's all he wanted. He dehumanized her as an object. And there she would have remained, probably a forgotten little conquest, had it not been for a message he received, I am pregnant. And it starts the wheels in motion. But the thing is, David is never really getting that these are people. They continue to be objects. Bathsheba, her name is only used once. The rest of the time she's been called the woman or the Hittite's wife. She loses her personage. And here's Uriah, a man of great conviction. He comes and David tries to set things up to cover his tracks. He says, go on, hey, you've been out, you had a long journey. Go down to your house, get something to eat. Have your wife wash your feet. You know what he's talking about. Go down to your wife. That way, later on, when the news comes to Uriah that your wife's pregnant, he can go, oh, that must have been that night I spent with her when I went back to see the king. He doesn't go down because he's a man of great conviction. He says, while the ark is in a booth and my army is laying in a field, I cannot go down and be with my wife. I can't do that. I have principles. So David even tries to get him drunk. Get him drunk, and drunk guys, you can talk drunk guys into doing stuff. Think of the stupid things people have done when they're drunk. I talk them into something. But even there, Uriah's principles, his morals, his standards remain solid. And what does he do? Old David was checking off the list of commandments to break. He was not holding God in high esteem. He certainly wasn't honoring his parents. He's coveted the neighbor's wife. He's committed adultery. And now he's going to commit murder. His actions, his orders caused the death of Uriah the Hittite. All because David could not see them as anything more than objects. And there's the lesson for us, the danger for us when we do not look at people as people. Let's go to our New Testament reading, our gospel reading of John this morning. Jesus had just gotten word that his cousin and friend and colleague, John the Baptist, had been beheaded. Jesus was seeking to go on the other side of the lake and go up into the mountain and find some solace and peace. But when he got there, the crowds had followed him. Thousands. And Jesus set his own needs aside. And he had compassion. He had compassion. And he taught and he healed. He showed God's love to them. And when it came time, he took a few fish and a few loaves of bread. And he fed them all. Not because he needed something from them, but because they needed him. Just like those in our world, in our neighborhoods, in our families, and in our lives, and in our workplaces, need us to act as Christians and treat everyone with respect and dignity that they deserve. What are you thinking about when you see your garbage men out and it's raining outside and they're picking up your trash? Do you see them as people? Your waitress who took your order and brought your food? Is she a person to you? Or just a servant? An object? An end to the means? This past year, let's face it, we have seen a barrage of David-type behavior.
starting with Harvey Weinstein, and then Charlie Rose, and Matt Lauer, and Louis C.K., and Brett Ratner, and Kevin Spacey, and Bill O'Reilly, and the list keeps going on and on and on. People who saw their authority and power and looked down at others, men and women, as objects and ends to their means and their pleasure. But what about us? When we put our own desires ahead of another person's welfare, or in the workplace and we see that person as a stepping stone to your advancement. When you're in school and you befriend the smart kid in school just so that you can help get you past that test. When we hire immigrant day laborers to pick our food for us and not pay them the full hourly rate they deserve to have. When we keep our employees part-time, so we don't have to pay hospitalization and benefits. Treating people like objects is not limited to the world of sexual misconduct. It can happen in any frame of our lives. But there is a formula that exists that can help us stay on track. Pay attention. Love people, not things. Use things, not people. How's that? Love people, not things. Use things, not people. If we can do those things, if David had done that, this would have been a completely different story we've been talking about this morning. Love people. See people as the precious children of God, made in His image. Respect them as daughters and wives and sons and husbands and mothers and fathers, loyal workers, fellow Christians. Love them like Christ loved them. And remember this commandment: just as I have loved you, you should love one another. And use things, not people. Hey, I like my phone. I like my Google thing in the corner of the house that plays the music. All I have to do is ask. I like my Batmobile and my red Jeep. They get me where I need to go. But they're stuff. They're an ends to a means. But I can't treat those things with the same respect and love and dignity that I need to treat my fellow human beings. The people I worship with, the people I see on the street, those who are in public service. There's where we need to be. Love people, not things. Use things, not people. We can do those. We'll be walking right with God. Amen. Amen. And our closing hymn.